obviously, I really enjoyed the film. I watched literally just only watched it earlier today. I thought it was great. I mean, I spoke to, I actually interviewed Ashley Judd earlier today about it. And she was talking about how she feels so kind of responsible for ensuring all of her younger co-stars had kind of good advice on set and felt comfortable kind of in their environment. Obviously, as the kind of more experienced performer of the collective. I just wonder what
Mhm.
co-star she was like to work with on this project and how much, as a younger actor, you appreciate having people like that around.
Yeah, I think it's very important. It's the next generation of actors on the way. Gauging advice from people like Ashley, like herself, is very important. Because she's been in the career for so long, and she understands it, she gets it. So I think it's really cool to like have mentors and just to learn from others around you, and especially people that have been working in the industry for so long, like herself,
Yeah, I mean, of
especially.
course, it's kind of a sort of very obviously it's a female-led piece, and there's a real kind of feminist undercurrent to this film, which is really important. How important is it for you as an actor that male actors take part in projects like this that help spotlight kind of female empowerment and resourcefulness and independence?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Look, I'm all for female empowerment. I support that 100%. But yeah, I think it's really nice, especially in for this project. I just feel like the way Owen fits into the story is just so perfect. And he's kind of just like that missing piece, to the story. He kind of comes in and ruffles some feathers, and then things just start to get worse. So it was really exciting for me to, I'm not really used to. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What I was gonna try. I don't know where I was going, but no, it's really cool. I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, I remember when I was watching it, I remember thinking, I bet if this film came out like 10 years ago, I reckon I would have such a different relationship with it than I do now because of the pandemic. We can really put
Right.
in the shoes. When you sort of read the script for this and see films like this, do you think we now view kind of post-apocalyptic films differently to how we kind of used to?
I think for sure. I think especially because we've experienced, one recently that was a pretty big ordeal, I'd say. So I think we look at those movies a lot differently now because I think we think that it's actually possible now. Like there are possibilities for more pandemics down the future. I mean, down the road. So yeah, that's definitely scary. Like I that's why I've been feel like we haven't had a movie like Lazareth um, that really talks about that kind of hints at those kind of things. I just feel like we don't have that right now out there. There's no content that talks about pandemics or movies like that right now. I mean, I've seen a couple, but I feel like this one's really good. It's a great story, a great foundation. Who doesn't love Ashley Judd, who's incredible? And yeah, I think there's a lot of great performances, and I think people are really going to be shocked. I think it's going to catch people by surprise for sure.
I mean, it's another great role for you. Obviously, I think there's you've got some already kind of a nice list of good characters behind you. I was thinking about the one in the kind of Shazam series. Do you think you'll always look back on that role as being a kind of key part in something that really changed the trajectory of your career?
Always changed my life completely. And yeah, I'll always be grateful for that opportunity. I look at every project. I feel like every project that I do, it's a stepping stone, not only in my career, but in my own life. I get better every day, and I also figure out myself more. So I don't know. I feel like it's just a great environment for me to be in, like playing different, totally transforming into different characters, and it's also kind of like an eye opener for me. And I learn new stuff about myself too, being and playing other people. I don't know, it's kind of crazy.
Do you hope to play him again one day? I mean, there's obviously with like anything in superhero movies, there's so much scope, isn't there, to pick
For
up these.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's always a possibility. I mean, I've been a superhero fanatic since I was little, so I always wanted to be in superhero movies. So for me, just to be a part of that was a dream come true. And fingers crossed. I mean, I think Zach and I would love to return. It would be really fun. So, but I can't wait for people to see this movie tomorrow, May 10th. Let's go, Lazarus.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your kind of your careers. I mean, you know, you've got your music career working alongside the film career. I'm just wondering about how it is. Is it a challenge for you to kind of balance the kind of the two of those together?
I think it's hard because, um, yeah, both worlds are just so competitive, you know. So yeah, it's definitely a lot to balance. But I mean, I have an amazing team, and I'm young, I'm fresh. I mean, this is the time. This next 10 years is where I cement my legacy. Is the way I like to think of it. So there's a lot to be done in the music world and the acting world.
So how would you sort of define yourself as an artist? Let's say you had to introduce yourself to someone for the first time. What would you call yourself?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think anyone that knows me or that anyone that I meet, they could immediately tell off the spot that I'm just like a perfectionist. Like, no matter what it is, like, I'm always itching to like do something perfectly. Um, so it's kind of a good habit and it's kind of a bad habit and a good habit, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, like, you got to give yourself like grace sometimes, but I'm just so focused on being like, this has to be perfect. I need this to be like this. So yeah, I don't know. I just perfectionist, like overboard, an overboard perfectionist.
Oh, look, the perfectionism is a good thing. I
Hey,
think.
it's not a bad thing. I mean, can't be bad, right? It can only help.
But have you always wanted to, because obviously, you know, we're going into kind of with the music and the acting kind of simultaneously, and obviously so young as well. Did you think you always wanted to be like a performer from a very young age? Were you one of those kids who were kind of, you know, in front of the family and stuff, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, like growing up, oh my gosh, like if only I could show you the videos, right? But no, I'd always be performing for my family. Just always wanted to sing and just be in the spotlight. I guess, yeah, it always just was like that from a young age, and that was like coming to set or coming to my theatrical show was like a Saturday at the baseball field for my dad and my parents. Like that was my outdoor activity. I mean, I guess that's my activities. So it's kind of weird. It's yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, it makes me. If I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I'm thankful for it.
Are there any kind of careers, or be it in music or film, of other sort of contemporaries that you kind of wish to emulate? Is anyone you kind of really look up to and think, if I could have a career similar to that, I'd be a happy man?
Yeah, I've always loved Justin Timberlake. Um, I think we have very similar career path so far. He's still doing music. I know he's on his tour right now. So yeah, I definitely see something or ushering something similar to what JT's doing in the music world and the acting world. Yeah.
Have you seen his tiny desk? Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it's so good.
Honestly, I loved JT's the best man.
He's the best. I'm going to a show on the 21st or 23rd, something like that, in Arizona. So I'm excited. I'm a big JT fan, always.
But looking at kind of ahead to sort of other projects, I know 99 Days is a film you kind of really obviously looking forward to, and you're set to star alongside McKenna Grace in that one. Of course, it's based on a hugely popular novel. I just wondered if you guys started that one, and how excited are you to kind of share something like that with fans, both new and old as well?
Yeah, I love the script. I've been a fan of McKenna's work since I've been in the industry. She's been in it for a lot longer than me, so I've always kind of looked up to her and admired what she's doing because she's incredible. But yeah, we don't have a filming schedule or anything yet. There's nothing I can really talk about yet, but I hope it happens, and I hope our schedules align, and we make the movie. So fingers crossed.
Because I mean, there's always a pressure that kind of comes with telling such a popular story. But do you think, having been in the DC universe, you're kind of well versed with that notion of pressure when it comes to kind of stepping into very established territory, and that's something that has already a big fan base around it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so hard to just to do a project that's familiar territory. I feel like that's really hard. It's a really big challenge and it's big shoes to fill, especially a character like I guess Shazam. So many people have high hopes on how they want the character to be and just have a lot of opinions about it. So I always just if I'm ever touching anything that's familiar territory, I want to do it justice always. So it's important.
Just my final question, because obviously talking about the notion of pressure, and I've asked this to a couple of other young actors as well, because it kind of fascinates me, but you have such a major social media following. But of course, if we go back to kind of actors from 20, 30 years ago, even longer, social media like wasn't a thing, but it's such a large part now of the industry. I just wondered how you kind of get your way around having such a big following like that. Does it ever feel quite daunting to have that added element of having so many people kind of behind you? I mean, obviously it's a brilliant thing at the same time, but
Right.
more like an added sort of additional aspect of your career in some ways, managing it all at the same time.
Right. Yeah, the social media component, it could be a lot of work. It really can. And I think it was definitely better back in the day for sure. But it is really cool for us young people to have a platform to spread awareness for things that we're passionate about. I mean, that's pretty darn cool. But there's also a lot of flaws to social media, right? You know, the harassment people get, or the bullying, and it could be a pretty toxic place as well. So yeah, I'd say social media is like not for everyone, but like if you can deal with it, you can deal with it. And I don't really think any of the hate or any of that ever gets to me. I know it's a part of it, and you know, people have opinions, so I understand.
Yeah, I don't have to worry too much. I've got like 600 followers.
Hey,
Jesus.
that's still a lot. Come on, you're climbing up there. You're almost at 1,000.
But Asha, thank you so much for speaking to me today about the movie. I thought your performance was really good. I'm looking forward to seeing it again when it comes out, man.
Thanks, Stefan. I hope to see you soon. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!
Hey, you guys!